Welcome, grade 12s, to our grade 12 business studies, proudly sponsored by Macmillan. So today you are here with me, Megan, and Anita. This is only her second show, so she's still like getting with it. So let's just help her, and I'm going to help her as well because she has to get the gist of it. So Anita, how are you?
Very well, thanks. And you?
Good, thank you. Tell us what we're doing today, please.
We're doing labour legislation, a little bit of BEE and BBBEE. So,
okay,
yeah.
So you guys know what we're doing. So I'm going to send you to the board so I can tell them what they need to know.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, mindsetters, today I have something a little bit more interesting for you. Grade 12s, I know you must be sitting there thinking to yourself, what am I going to do next year? I don't know what I'm going to do. So we have a solution for you. From the 20th to the 22nd of June at the Sandton Convention Centre, we are going to, well, not us, but there's a career Indaba. It's called Career Indaba. And all you have to do is register online, and like that, you can be part of the 60 workshops that they have there. So all you go, the website is www.careerindaba.co.za, and you register, and maybe if you're interested and you don't know what you want to do, then you just take a direction and you see what they have to offer, and maybe you find something that you actually want to do. But other than that, I'm going to tell you where you can get the notes and sit like a nerd in front of your TV, and that would be mindset.co.za/learn extra, or talk to me on Facebook now for this whole hour with Anita at facebook.com/learn extra, or on Twitter at learn extra. But I think I've done enough talking, so I'm going to hand over to Anita and let's learn grade 12 business studies.
Thank you. Grade 12s, welcome, and I'm very glad to be here once again. So please bear with me tonight. We're doing a little bit of revision. I know we've spoken about this previously on the show, the BEE and BBBEE, but some people find it quite complex and difficult and challenging. So that's why we thought we'd do a little bit of a revision on this. So what we're going to do tonight, we're going to have a look at the Skills Development Act. We haven't spoken about that yet. And we're also going to look at what does the word CETAs mean. We're going to look at what is a learnership. We're going to look at what a qualification means. And then to start off with today, as I said, the BEE and BBBEE. So let's get right into this. Today, I want to look at Employment Equity Act. Now, if you listen to the name, Employment Equity Act. Equity, the word equity means to be equal. So they started and they made this new law and they said, in workplaces, employees need to all be equal, not just in terms of race, but also in terms of gender, males and females. If you've got a disability, if you're in a wheelchair, we're not allowed to discriminate against anyone anymore. So technically, we should allow anyone to apply for a job, to come for an interview, and everyone is seen as equal. Now, I said this to you guys here on the notes. If you have a look at this, it says, employment equity is another name for affirmative action. Oh, we all love this word, affirmative action. Now, affirmative action was brought in to lessen the effect of what happened in apartheid. Now, in the old regime, before 1994, we didn't employ anyone of color. And this was a big disaster because now when we went into a democratic society, they said, what are we going to do to fix this? And they brought in affirmative action. Now, what does it mean to us? What is affirmative action? It says that we need to take people that were previously disadvantaged and place them in the work. Now, they said to us, there's something called BEE, Black Economic Empowerment. And now businesses had to do this. And what did they do? They employ a gardener. They employ a cleaning lady. And now we call this window dressing because businesses were saying, yes, we're doing BEE, but actually they weren't. They were just employing someone to still be a cleaner or still be doing the gardens. And that's not right. That's what they said we don't want. We want to empower everyone in our country so that everyone is on an equal basis. So let's carry on and have a look here. I just want to quickly make my pen a bit more visible for you guys. Okay, the Employment Equity Act was introduced to tell us how to implement affirmative action. Employers are required to create opportunities for previously disadvantaged groups. That's exactly what I told you now. And what is previously disadvantaged? It means that people weren't granted an opportunity to go and study in the past or to further their education. So now it's us, the employer, that has to uplift. We need to say, we're going to give you a chance. We're going to build your skills. We're going to further your education so that you can get better jobs. All right, grade 12s. Let's have a look here. Employers are required, oh, I did that one. Employers are not allowed to discriminate against any race, gender, or people with disabilities. Businesses that employ 50 or more people need to submit an employment equity plan. So what does this mean? An employment equity plan says we need to now lay out in a plan, how are we going to uplift? How are we going to improve skills and qualifications? We're not just going to have gardeners and cleaners. We're now going to uplift people into shareholder positions, into the ownership. So we can't just say we've got cleaners. We need to really embrace this and uplift people in our business. All right, so the very important thing we need to remember here is that we need to, I just quickly want to do this, and let's have a look. There we go, my pen is working. It's important to remember that 50 or more people in a business means that the business has to apply BEE. We have to do affirmative action. So if you go and think of a business, 50 people isn't really a lot. Think of your school. Think of how many teachers there are, ground staff, cleaners. It adds up to 50 very quickly. So all of the businesses that have 50 or more people have to do affirmative action. So now, let's carry on here. I said we need to do an employment equity plan, and it's very important that every 2 years they need to send through this plan. So it's not something we're going to do once off, and then the business has done it and it's over and done with. They need to say, oh, okay, the past 2 years I've done this, and now I'm sending in my new plan so you can see how I have improved. They want to see that you're doing this. Now, what is challenging about this act? Why are people so scared of employment equity? Why are they scared to apply affirmative action? Let's have a look here what it says. Many businesses battle to find people with the necessary skills. This is a problem for us in the workforce because we had apartheid. People didn't have the opportunities to go and study further, to finish their schooling. Now we've got a whole big gap in the market of unqualified people, and now everyone's taking a back seat saying, oh, it's very easy to say, we don't have people that are qualified. That's nonsense, because now businesses are uplifting, businesses are training, and businesses are doing their bit to say, I'm going to give you a better future. Look at this. They say time, effort, and resources need to be spent to recruit, train, and update skills of workers. This, in turn, leads to lower productivity and loss of profit. So what they're saying there is, now everyone's complaining. They're saying, oh, we need to train, we need to uplift. It's costing me money. I spend my time on it. But what, at the end of the day, it's a huge benefit for the business because you are uplifting your own workers. You are giving them more skills. And that's what we want to do at the end of the day. That's going to make us more money in the long run. Okay, guys, look at this. Ooh, this is a very important one. Clashes may occur due to different backgrounds, religions, or cultures. Affirmative action says we now have all colors in the workplace, all religions, races, genders, and you guys know sometimes at school, there can be such stupid fights about culture or tradition. Oh, I never know that people do this or they say that, and you can be so offended. And this happens in the workplace. And something might blow up, and then you say, I'm not going to work with this person anymore. Now there's major conflict in the whole department. Oh, drama, drama. We need to get over this, guys. We need to embrace diversity because it leads to creativity. Let's have a look at the next one. It says now, benefits of this act. Diversity leads to creativity and innovation. People have different ideas. When you were raised in a certain way, in a different culture, different religion, you come to the table with your ideas. Something that you probably don't even know someone's going to share with you. And this leads to creativity. People are throwing around their ideas. Let's do this, let's try that. And it leads to your team being very successful and creative. Now, I also want to have a look at this. Government. You must focus now, guys. This is very important. Government rewards companies who complete their, what does that stand for? EE, employment, equity plans. They issue the company with a certificate, and that company may then do business with the government. Now, this is a major thing. If you think about it, if a company is embracing affirmative action, they've got their equity plan that they hand in, government says, great, we see you doing a good job. Here's your certificate. You can now trade with other government businesses. Public sector, guys. Someone needs to supply them. Public hospitals, public schools, transport, they need to buy from the private sector. And this puts you in a position where you are allowed to deal with government businesses. All right, let's move on. Here comes this topic. B-B-B-E-E. I wish I could say this to my class now, because when we do it, we all go B-B-B-E-E. What is the difference between B-B-B-E-E and B-E-E? This is a very important question. They love to ask this in the exams. So we used to have Black economic empowerment. Then they said, we see what you guys are doing. You only putting the cleaners there and the gardeners, like I explained to you just now. And now they've said broad-based Black economic empowerment. No longer do we just see Black people as Black. Blacks are also now seen Asian, colored, everyone except whites. Basically, if you look at it like that, we can say Black includes all other races that we now need to promote and uplift into the business place. Let's have a look here. It says broad-based Black economic empowerment. By the way, they enjoy asking that acronym. They say, what does BBBEE stand for? Broad-based Black economic empowerment. 2 marks, free. You must know that. They're saying here, BBBEE is there to act as a mechanism for transformation. This is a very important word. What does it mean to transform something? If you think of those programs that you watch where they do makeovers, that is a transformation. You see this ugly girl, shame, and they make her into this beautiful woman with makeup and hair, and that's a transformation. And this is what they want with BEE. They want to say, we can't believe this is your old business. You used to run it in such a different way. Now you are embracing diversity. You being creative, innovative, and applying Ubuntu. Do you know what Ubuntu is?
Isn't it something about we all work together? Something like that.
Absolutely. Remember, Mr.
Humanity.
Mandela was famous for that. He was
Yes.
famous for saying, Ubuntu, we mustn't just enrich ourselves. We need to look after everyone around us while we're busy enriching ourselves. All right, guys, let's carry on here. The government defines the word Black as a generic term for Africans, Indians, and colored people. And this is what I just said to you now. They've now expanded this to say we need to uplift into shareholder and ownership positions into a business. Because previously, when it was BEE, they just said embrace, uplift, da-da-da-da-da. But now we need to have ownership and shareholders. Direct Black empowerment. All right. By implementing BBBEE, the government hopes that there will be economic growth. We really want that. Job creation, and that poverty will be relieved. Because there's so many people that are unskilled, that don't have the necessary qualifications, that's poverty, there's crime, people need to steal, they need to look after their families. And now government's saying, you know what, we can't do this on our own. We need businesses to come and help us. So the businesses are saying, we are gonna uplift, we're gonna train, we're gonna look after our staff so that we can have less poverty and our economy can grow. The next point, guys. Business should empower all Black people. This includes not just, remember I just said to you, Africans, coloreds, Indians. Black also is seen as women. That's awesome. So we're actually Black.
We're
That's
Black.
really cool. I like that. Women, the youth, my son at home.
I'm
He's
youth.
Black. Yeah. I'm not a youth anymore, but I'm a woman at least. People with disabilities and people living in rural areas. So that is the big difference with BBBEE. We're now including women, the youth, people living in rural areas.
Chinese people? What about Chinese people? Okay.
Yeah.
Do they
All
fall into
Asian.
that?
Yeah.
Asian people. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, at least we're still in a good position here, right? All right. Businesses are encouraged to employ Black South Africans so that wealth may be distributed amongst South Africans. And I think this is a very important thing to remember because people automatically assume that BEE is just the Black people. But we've seen now, it's women, it's youth, it's people with disabilities, it's people that come from Koppies or Pofadder, somewhere in a rural district. It's not just, as we like to see, Black people applying for the job. Please remember that, guys. We don't have a negative connectivity to it. Businesses should offer ownership, I just told you guys that, and senior management positions. We need to uplift into higher positions. Why? We need to ask ourselves that. If I am the owner or a shareholder, I'm going to work for that business. I'm going to really want the business to do well. If I'm a gardener or a cleaner, I don't really care what that business does. If they make money, don't make money, I just want my 1,000 Rand a month. If you are in a shareholder position, you are going to be concerned with the well-being of that business.
Yeah. Do you think we should go for an ad break?
Yep, 100%.
Okay,
Thank you.
We will go to an ad break now, Mindsetters. And don't forget, during this ad break, we're going to be watching the After Earth trailer. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere from your seats, and we'll be right back when the ad break is done. Okay, enjoy and see you afterwards. Welcome back, grade 12. So you've just seen the trailer, and I know you guys are interested in to see this. What is this After Earth competition? So I'm going to tell you. Here at Mindset, we've launched this competition, After Earth, and all you guys have to do is register, and I'm going to tell you where to register, www.learnextra.co.za/After Earth, okay? Then you put in this code word for this show is space, okay? I'm going to post it on the page, so all you have to do on the page is click, and you and your friend could win 2 tickets to go and see this movie, guys. 2 tickets. I mean, free tickets to go watch a movie, I would do that. So, and I just want to tell you that this is all based about Will Smith and Jaden Smith and how the environment and going green and all the eco-friendly things that might happen in the future. So it's actually really, really relevant to what we're learning about today. So I just want to announce the winner from yesterday, and her name, or his name, is Mofatozi Mukasane. I'm going to post your name on the page, and you know who you are. So congratulations, that little yay music's in the background, and I can hear myself just So I'm going to hand over, and I hope you guys are enjoying the show. Business studies, let's do this.
Thank you. Back again. At least I've had a breath now and I can talk again. Still busy talking about BBBEE. I'm not going to stay with this a lot more because remember, we're actually just recapping here. I've explained to you exactly what the difference is between them, what the BBBEE is in comparison to BEE. Okay, so we are going to move on to the Skills Development Act. Now, looking at employment equity, we've been saying over and over that the company needs to uplift. They need to train. They need to further people's educations. And this is where the Skills Development Act comes in. Listen to the name. Skills Development. Really easy. We want to develop the people's skills that work in the business. Now, how it works is we earn salaries every month when we're working, and there's a deduction off our salaries that gets paid to SARS. SARS collects this money for the Skills Act, and then we are entitled to go and study. I think a lot of people don't even know that's working. Mindset is ask your parents if they're aware of that they're paying every single month to be able to go and study further. So they should find out about that. So let's have a look what I said here. I said we've got skills shortages in South Africa, and this is a big problem. The government cannot pay for everyone to go and study further because we had the whole system of apartheid. There's such a backlog of uneducated people that they simply cannot afford it. And now they're saying to us, please, private sector people, help us. What is the difference between the public and the private sector? I really hope you guys know this in grade 12, because this is something that we learn in grade 8 and grade 9. What is the difference? Public sector, government. They government-owned businesses, and your private sector is all your private businesses. When you go to the shops, all those little shops, they're not government-owned. The Skills Development Act aims to expand the knowledge and competency of workers in South Africa. This act hopes to improve employability and productivity. How are they going to do this? They're going to train, they're going to offer learning programs, incentives, and improved employment services. I just said to you guys here, we pay every single month, and this portion that we paid is called the skills levy. A levy is something that's deducted off my salary, and it's paid towards a fund. And I've said to you guys here on the notes, if you want to have a look at it, it's a portion of funds that's paid over to government. Very important to remember this. What does SARS stand for? Acronym.
South
2
African
marks.
Revenue Services.
Yes, South African Revenue Services. 2 marks. Well done. They collect the money for the Skills Development Act on behalf of government. Remember, it's government that said we need to do something about this. So they said, we're going to offer training and upliftment. These funds may in turn be used by employers to develop the skills of their employees by offering them, here we go, CETA-approved training programs. What is CETA? Life orientation, grade 10. I think you learned this. What is a CETA? It's Sector Education Training Authorities. What does this mean? It says that there's different sectors in our economy, and everyone is grouped into a sector. There's like education, there's agriculture, there's retail, there's mining. All of the businesses are grouped into those different sectors, and the CETA looks after them. So let's have a look here. I just explained this to you. They represent a group of industries in our country, such as the service industry. That's very broad, because remember, services can be hotels, insurance, plumbers, so that's a big CETA. And they're saying these CETAs were established to ensure that skills needed in every sector are identified. So they will look in their companies, their little sector, what skills do we need? What do we need to improve? What qualifications do we need to offer people? And that training is offered to provide these skills. We are moving along. Very important, grade 12s. What does a learnership mean? It's a combination of 2 things. It is on-the-job training and off-the-job training. What does this mean? Relax. We know on-the-job training is I want to be a hairdresser. I'm going to go and I'm going to do hair cutting, coloring at the salon. On-the-job training. So what is off-the-job training? Off-the-job training is when I work somewhere, and after hours or on a weekend, I go and I do a course somewhere else. Now, Learnership says, I actually offer you a combination of this. So let's have a look what it says here. This is a contract between a learner, remember that can be you, the employee, the employer, the business that you work for, and a training provider. And this is for a certain period of time. During this time period, the learner will acquire a national qualification or a credit towards a national qualification. A qualification needs to be acknowledged by your SETA. Your sector that you fall or belong to needs to say, yes, this is an accredited course. So very important that you check on that, guys, for when you go and study next year. Learnerships are primarily workplace learning programs where the program results in a qualification. Remember, a qualification is something that will further you in life. It's something that's going to say, I've got a skill. I can put this on my resume. So you want that. A qualification needs to be registered by SAQA, the South African Qualifications Authority. When you go to university, when you go to college next year, you'll see that in brackets it will always be SAQA accredited. Make sure that it is. The advantages. Workers can obtain formal, structured learning in the workplace, and they get practical experience. If you think of going to hotel school, you're going to go and you're going to have 3 months of theory, sitting in class. Then you're going to have 6 months of prac, where you go into the restaurants or into a hotel, and you're going to actually cook. You're going to make the beds. You're going to see how everything works. So that means that you get the practical aspect and the theoretical aspect. And that's very important to remember here. Both of these together leads to the qualification. Remember, qualification says, I've got a new skill. I can do something better. Now we need to look at, this is all very fine and dandy, but businesses need to say to them, okay guys, I'm going to now send you on a course. We need to find this money. The levy will cover a certain bit of that cost, but the company will still need to cover a little bit of the cost of this. It's the time that you're going to take off. You're going to go on this course for 3 days. You could have been at work. You could have been making money for them. So the businesses are saying, it is costing us our time, it's costing us our resources, but it's okay. We want to do this because we want to better your education. So now, I said to you here, employers must adhere to this. It is a law. So they don't really have a choice. They have to enable people to go and study, to go on a course. They can't just say, no, you're not allowed to do it. We have to do this. It's a law. And we need to make the workplace a place of learning. So whenever you're in a job, you need to have the opportunity to learn something new every day. And I think myself as a teacher, I can say that I learn something new every day. And the nice thing is that I can say that I learn from the kids in my class. You guys all know who you are. I learn from you. You learn from me. And together we can say, no one's ever old enough to, or too old to say we're not going to learn anything else. Okay, I am moving on. Now, funds need to be available. I've said to you, it's costing them money to send people to go and study. Workers that are part of a learnership need to be guided during this process, and this means that there will be lower productivity because they might have a mentor. They might have a manager of a department overseeing them, saying to them, oh, are you still okay? Are you studying? And that person could be at work, and that person could be making money for the business. So it lowers my productivity, which leads to lower profits. Okie dokie. I want to quickly have a look at exam questions, types of questions that they can ask about this. Now, obviously, we've done the legislation part. We also previously discussed the Basic Conditions of Employment Act, the Labour Relations Act. It is a very important section. There will be questions about this in your exams, guys. Try and go and look at past papers. See how they ask it, because I don't have time. I wish I did. I wish I could be here for 6 hours doing lots of questions with you, but we're going to look at 3 quick questions. I don't know if there's anything else.
Yes, someone asked us, does one need to go to university before joining a learnership?
No,
No?
I don't think so. You can go out of school and you can start working somewhere, and then they can offer you the opportunity to do something while you're working to start learning.
And Cello, I'm sure it's Cello, he asked me, I need to find it, sorry,
No
it was
problem.
right here. Here, will I be wrong if I say that BBBEE is an extension of BEE?
Yes, absolutely correct. They took BEE and they said, we made mistakes. We are improving on this act. And they brought out
Didn't they
BBBEE.
take the employment equity and the BBEE?
BBBEE.
There we go. And then
So
take
get
all the
mixed up.
wrongs that happen out
It's
of
just
those.
part of the Employment Equity Act.
Yeah.
So under the act, you get the BEE and BBBEE.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they just expanded it, basically.
Yeah.
They're making it harder for us. I'm just wondering if it's next going to be BBBBBBEE.
Yeah.
I don't know.
3 E's
Please,
maybe.
make a new name, guys. Yes.
Yeah, those are the only questions so far that are
Awesome.
very hectic. Everyone is enjoying the show. Everyone says that they love you and you should be here every Thursday.
Thank you, guys. All right, so let's start looking at our questions here. This is a shortish question. It says, list 3, and look at it. They actually put it in capitals. Now, I want to go back to this again. When I taught you last time, I said to you, you need to look at the word list, describe, explain, name. List means give it to me. Short, sweet. Don't go and write a paragraph about it. So I'm saying list 3 negative impacts of legislation on businesses. This is very easy. We've spoken about it the whole time tonight. Let's think about it. The first thing that I said is it's going to cost us time in the business. Why am I saying time? We need to take time off. We're going to go on the course. And remember, I said there might be someone overseeing you, like a mentor or your manager, and he's giving up his time. So let's think what else. It costs us money. Grade 12s, we don't call it money. What is the correct business term for money?
Capital.
Capital. Yes, yes, I'm hearing it from this side. I love it. It's costing me capital. Because now I need to get people to come and do these courses. 3 negative aspects. It's costing me money, capital. It's costing me time. And what else? What else is negative about this? We are saying we're not getting the best qualified workers. Do you remember we spoke about that? So we're saying there's a lack of qualified workers. Okay. Now, when we look at the way that they ask questions, in business studies, I also want you always to look at mark allocation. I said list 3. It will usually be for 3 marks. If I had said to you, discuss 3 negative aspects for 6 marks, then you should have given me like 2 sentences. You need to explain it to me. You can't just say, it cost me time. I'll give you 1 mark. Why is it costing me time? Because people have to take off. Do you get what I'm saying? You need to then go into more detail. All right. Whew, that is shocking handwriting.
It's fantastic, man. What you're talking about. Way better than mine.
Okay, let's look at the next one. It says, are these impacts, remember we looked at those negative impacts now, are they short or long term? Substantiate your answer. In other words, grade 12s, you cannot just go and say, short term? You need to explain it, substantiate it, back it up. Tell me. So now I'm going to tell you it's both. It's short term and long term. Because remember, we said short term, they have to take out the money now. It's costing them money to go and look for people. We said there's a shortage of people. We need to go find them, recruit them. Then we need to train them. We need to say, what skills do you have? Where do we want you to be? And then send them on training courses, which we have to pay for. Long term, I think it's going to benefit them in the long term. Because now it's costing us money in the short term. We're training. But long term, I'm going to have empowered employees, trained employees, qualified employees that I can pick and choose and say, you've worked so hard, I'm going to promote you. And with confidence, you're going to know this person is qualified. You're not going to have to look for your staff to be qualified. All right, I'm going to write that down for you guys. Okay, so I'm going to say it's both short term and long term. We remember, we just discussed it. We said short term, it's costing us money and time. What do I call money? I'm going to put it in brackets. Capital. And it's costing me time. And then long term, I said to you guys, it's going to mean that there's a bigger, qualified employee base that they can choose out of. So then it's going to be good for us. We're going to make up the money. There's going to be more qualified workers. I hope you guys are with me and that you're understanding the Skills Development Act.
Do you think it's time for an ad break? Maybe?
Absolutely. Let's
Just so
take
they
a
can
breather.
sink it in a little bit. I think so.
100%.
Okay, well, grade 12s, quickly go take a break. Go stretch your legs, jump up and down, and we will be right back after the ad break. Welcome back, grade 12. So, I hope you had a fantastic ad break. Nisa and I were just talking and discussing some questions. So, I'm just going to hand over to her, unless you want me to ask about the Caroline question.
Yeah, let's do
Okay.
that. Let's do
Caroline Padiachi asked us, or Anita, not me really, hey, what is the breakdown for the best of the June exams for KZN? I need help ASAP.
Okay. Honestly, in my opinion, you need to study everything for your exam. It doesn't matter if you live in Gauteng, KwaZulu-Natal, Cape Town, wherever you are. I say the same thing to my kids. At this stage, in grade 12, there's no ways that I can say to you, leave this out, don't do this, because you need to remember, June exams are probably still set by your teachers and prelim exams, but at the end of the year, we have no idea what they're going to ask you. So you really need to study that whole book. Everything that your teacher's done with you, that we've done on here, remember we cover the whole curriculum in a short little time here with you guys, you have to study that.
I studied 16 chapters last year.
It is a lot of work.
All of it. Done.
Absolutely. You guys will know it's a lot of studying, and I wish that we could help you, but unfortunately you need to do everything.
Yes, exactly. And Cello said, wait, where is this? Yeah. I don't get how the negative impact of legislation could be cost time. Isn't legislation a law like EEA?
Yes, remember now, we said it's a law, they have to do it, but they still have to do it. Remember now, they can't just sit back and it's going to happen by itself. They need to implement it. I think what you guys also need to remember here is Employment Equity Act is like the heading. That's the law. Under that, you've got BEE and BBBEE. So, yes, it's a law, but businesses are obliged to go and adhere to this, to implement it, and that's why it's going to cost them time. Because now it's something totally different that they haven't been doing. They need to go research. How many people do I need to employ? Where am I going to get them from? It's a whole different recruitment process that's going to cost them time. And remember, in business, time equals money. And unfortunately, that takes money away from what we could be putting in our pockets. I hope that answers the question.
Yep, that's all of them. Go for it.
Thank you. All right. So let's quickly finish our exam questions, of possible questions here. I said, list the positive impact on the businesses and on the country as a whole. During this hour, we've been talking about upliftment. We've been talking about embracing diversity. And I think if I'm asked this in an exam, the first thing that I'm going to think is diversity. Positive is, oh, we've got different cultures, different languages, different beliefs, and this is going to lead to people being creative, throwing around ideas. So that's going to be my first one, is I'm going to say diversity. Now, if you think we've been talking about training, education, it's going to mean that the workforce in South Africa is more highly qualified. So I'm going to put that as my next one. I'm going to put a more qualified workforce. Remember what I said to you. If you are more qualified, you can apply for a better position. You can earn a higher salary. You can look after your family. So at the end of the day, our economy in South Africa is going to grow. We want to move from a third world country to a first world country. But we need our economy to grow to get there. So I'm saying more qualified workforce. But this is going to lead to economic growth. Very important that you understand that before 1994, South Africa wasn't allowed to trade with other countries. So basically, if you guys think about it, next year's 2014. That's like 20 years? Right?
Yeah,
That we've been
I
a
was born in
democracy?
the born-free generation,
Amazing.
1994.
Wow,
baby.
you are very young. So if you think about it, it's only 20 years that South Africa has been able to trade. For us to be able to build our economy, to start uplifting and saying, hello, world, we are here. We've got amazing products. We've got gold. We've got diamonds. Trade with us. So we need to think about that. We can't just be negative and say, oh, we're a third world country. We're doing brilliant, guys. It's only been 20 years. Okay.
Yep.
Let's carry on. My last question here says, just want to lower that a bit. List the benefits of a learnership. But look what I'm asking here. I'm asking for the learner, I'm going to make that a little one, for the training provider, and for the company concerned. So I'm asking you, how does it benefit three parties? Let's have a look at it. Learnership, remember what it was? It's when I learn something practical at the workplace, but also the theoretical knowledge. And this is going to lead to a qualification. So tell me, what do you guys think? Why or what is the benefit going to be for the learner, the employee that's going on this course? He's going to have a new skill. He's going to have a new qualification. So I'm going to quickly write this down. We need to answer here for the learner. We need to answer for the provider. And we need to answer for the company. So quickly think about it. Who is the provider? Why is there a provider? Because remember now, the place of work has to go and get a company to come and do a course. That is the provider. So why would they benefit from it? I've said to you now, the learner is going to be more qualified. And if we think about it, the provider can say they are building the job market because they're teaching new skills, they're adding to a qualification, they are building the employable job market, which will lead to economic growth. So they are building the job market. And then lastly, we need to look at why is this benefiting the company? If a company is now saying, I want to further the skills and the knowledge of my employees. Why is it good for them? They are the ones that are going to have more productive, more enthusiastic, trained people saying, I can't wait to go back and do what I've learned. I'm going to go and use this course. I've got brilliant ideas. At the end of the day, the company's going to make a bigger profit. So I'm going to just say they're going to have a profit increase. But you know how I got to that now. I write too ugly to write all of this. All right. Grade 12s, do yourself a favor. As I said, go look at old papers, because there's so many of these questions about learnerships, about skills development. The last one that I included here, let's quickly have a look, was second last one. We're going to read through this little section here. It says, shareholders gave a leading insurance company the go-ahead yesterday to implement the group's 7.2 billion Black economic empowerment deal that will benefit over 500,000 people. At an extraordinary general meeting of the insurance company, the shareholders voted overwhelmingly in favor of the proposal that will increase the Black shareholding in the group's South African businesses. So let's have a look. What did I ask here? What are the possible benefits for the leading insurance company to implement this BEE deal? They are uplifting more than, look at this, I'm going to go back to it. I said to you more than 500,000 people, because they're putting 7.2 billion rands into this. 500,000 people will be uplifted and put into jobs that didn't have that job. They didn't have that position available to them. So that's a direct benefit. Now remember, we're saying here, why is it going to benefit this company? Remember, we said it's a law. They have to do it. So they're going to be adhering to the law, firstly. They're going to help 500,000 people, which is going to build their image. They are going to look good. At the end of the day, we're going to open the newspaper, we're going to see, wow, this insurance company is uplifting 500,000 people. I think I'm going to support them. I'm going to buy from them because they're doing really well. It improves the company's image. Now, if we think about it, we can also say that government is going to look at us and say, you are implementing this, you are doing what you're supposed to be doing, so we're going to issue you with that certificate so that you can do business with government businesses. We spoke about that earlier. Guys, the next question says, in terms of BBBEE, who should benefit from the deal? Who? I'm asking you who. And how will this help them? It's the employees. It's the 500,000 people that will benefit from it. There's so much money that's put available for this that the people are going to benefit. But let's think a little step further. We're saying the people are going to benefit because they are now empowered, they put into a job, they are being trained, their education is being furthered. At the end of the day, the business will work better. Government's going to look at them, they can deal with government, and if all businesses could do that, our economy is going to grow, South Africa is going to grow, and international countries will want to trade with us and invest with us. Okay, grade 12s, my last question for you tonight says state. Look at that. I'm just saying state, give, list. Do not discuss, do not explain. 3 purposes of SETAs. What is a SETA? Sector Education Training Authority. Remember I said to you, there's industries, there's different sectors, different groupings. They look after the training needs in those sectors. So in other words, if you look at the mining sector, SETAs, they will make sure that they're going to analyze, they're going to look at what needs training. What courses should we offer? Something really important that they do is they give feedback to the general directors and the people that are very important to say, this is what we are doing. This is how we are uplifting. This is how we're implementing the skills development program. Because at the end of the day, they should see that skills development is happening in the workplace. So I can quickly write that down. I've got 2 seconds in my ugly handwriting. Going to quickly expand this for you guys. I said, firstly, they are looking at what skills we need. Secondly, they are reporting back about the training happening in their sectors. And then lastly, they make sure that the skills development plan is implemented. Development. Oh, I'm trying to write quickly, guys. And that is what they do, implemented. I'm just going to do that. That is the questions that I have for you guys today. I wish I had more time to go through it. Go and look for it and do the effort and go and study further. Look for those examples, guys. I don't know if there's anything.
No questions, but
happening
I have a lot to tell them, actually.
Ah.
So grade 12s, there's not business studies this Saturday. It's Saturday school live, but it's mathematics, so maths, physical sciences, and life sciences. And it starts at 9 o'clock, so that's maths. Then there's life sciences at 10:30, and what did I forget now? Science, physical sciences, and life sciences at 12 o'clock. Sorry, life sciences. So I know it's actually very good because prelims are coming up now. So I know you guys are like cramming and starting to get a little bit hesitant. Believe me, I went through that about a few months ago. And also finals. So this is good revision. And I just want to say that it's the most important things, most important exams, your grade 11 as well. But Saturday school is what we're offering. Don't forget about careers in Indaba. If you don't know what to do, you're still unsure about what your future holds for you, I suggest you go. It's careerindaba.co.za. Okay? And other things I want to tell you about is where to get the business notes. I've posted a very quick note. If I don't know if you guys saw, but it's actually, it goes right to the table that you can get the notes from. So I hope you guys are clicking on the notes and downloading them, because I post them and you guys are actually saying, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And I'm really happy. But it's also at mindset.co.za/learn extra. I want to thank you, Macmillan, for sponsoring our lovely business studies show. And thank you, Anita, for this amazing show. How great was this? It was so good having her. It's only her second time, guys, so I'm really proud of her. And we got through it all together, so I'm quite impressed. And I just want to thank you, my director. You are so beautiful, James. And thank you, guys. Hope you have a fantastic evening. Bye.